Om Sang Saraswati Namaha. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. We're going to begin this evening on chapter 4. And you'll find it either on page 94 or what page is it in your books?
90.
On page 90. See, I'm 4 pages ahead of you already. And Sri Devi Vacha, please recite along with us. Sruvantu nirjarasare, vyaharantyasya pachomama, yasya sravana madrena, marupatvam prapadyate, ahamevasa purvantu, nanyat kimchit nagadiba, tadatma rupang chang chit sambit, brahmayika naska namakam, apratarkyam nirdeshyam, anopam yamanamagyam, tasyaka chitsvatahastidam, saktir mayeti visrutam, nasati sam, no boyatman dirodatam, etadi lakshana kachid, vastu bhutasti sarvadam, Pavakasya shalite sham, mushlam syo ribhati ditai, chandrasya chandrike deyam, mayam sakajadruha, tasyan karmani jivanam, jivahakalascha sanchare, abedinan dilinasyo, shushubha vyadharapad, swasakvishcha samayogad, aham vijatmatang gatam, swadharatavanatasyam, doshatvam sasamagatam, chaitanyasya samayogan, nimittatvam chakatyate, prapancha parinamacha, samavakyati muchyate, kichitang tapakidyahus, tamahakichidadang pare, gyanang bhagyam padanang cha, prakriting saktimapyajam, vimarsakiti tangrahu, sheva shastra visaradam, abhidya mitre prahur, veda tartarta chintakam, evam dana vidanisyur, namani nigamadishu, tasya jadatvam tishyatvaj, jnana nashatem pratosati, tritanyasya trishyatvam, Jisatve jatme patat, srapakasham chatritanyam, napari parikasha sitam, anavastad dasho satwan, nasvenapi prakasitam, kamakartviti rodasyat, tasmat adipavatsayam, prakashamandapanyesham, basakam vidipartam, itakivacha nitatvam, Siddha Sambhit Sanor Baba, Jagrat Swapna Shishub Yado, Jishyasya Baya Bicharata, Sambido Abhya Vicharascha, Nanubutosti Karkichit, Yaditasya Pyagnudrasyas, Tarkyayam Dinta Sakshina, Anubuta Satyavatra, Shishta Sambhiti Pupara, Ataki Bachanityatvam, Proktam Svachastra Boko Vidai, Ananda Rupata Chasyam, Parapremastra Datpatat, Namanya Bhutyam Hi Bhujastam, Iti Pro Prema Bhustis Tidram, Sarvasyasyasya Nityatad, Radha Sankatvam Sputam Bhavam, Aparichanatapyevam, Ata Evam Tabamam, Dacha Gyanang Napatarmo, Dharmatve Jatatatpanha, Gyanasya Jatasheshatvam, Nadristam Nacha Sambhave, Vidharmatvam Tatanaste, Chitan Chidaki Vidyate, Tasmat Gyatma Gyana Rupa, Sukha Rupasya Sarvada, Satya Purna Sankyascha, Dvaita Jala Viparchita, Napuna Kama Kamati, Yuktaya Siyamaya, Purvana Bhuta Sanskarat, Kala Karma Vipakata, Abhite Akachata Sasva, Visri Sri Javanta Jayate, Abhuti Purva Sangargo, Kateste Nagadipa, Itadi Janmakya Proktam, Mamarupa Malokikam, Avyakritanta Davyatam, Maya Shabali Ambityapi, Prochate Sarva Shastreshu, Sarvakaranakarnam, Tatwanamadhi Bhutam Cha, Sachidananda Vigraham, Sarvakamagani Bhutam, Icha Gyana Kriyasrigam, Ringar Mantra Bachyam Tad, Adhitatvam Gaduchyate, Tasmadakashat Mutpanam, Sabdatan Matra Rupaka, Babet and Sparshamako Bayus, Teja Rupamakang Punam, Chalam Rasas Makam Paschat, Tato Gandat Mikadara, Sabdeka Ruguna Akasho, Bayus Pasha Sabambita, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Gunang, Teja Dichuchate Bude, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasir, Apo Veda Gunaspita, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa, Gandhi Prapanchagun Hadara, Tivyo Babadma Katsutram, Yalinga Parichakshate, Sarvatmakam Tatsam Proktam, Suksmadeo Yamatmana, Avyaktam Yankarano Deha, Sachokta Purvane Pati, Yasmin Chakadija Rupam, Sitam Lingo Babo Bhavayata, Tatastu Lani Bhutani, Panchi Karana Margata, Panchaka Sankyadi Sanya Jayante, Tat Prakasyasta Dochate, Provakani Chabutani, Pradekam Babajed Bita, Ekam Bakabekasyam, Chatuda Bajake Gire, Swasveta Vikashon Se, Yojanat Pancha Panchate, Tatkaryam Tamiradeha, Stula de Odyamatmanam, Panchabhutas Patatwam She, Srotradidam Samut Babab, Ganindriyanam Rajendra, Prayekam Ilatestute, Amtahakaranam Ekam Syad, Vrite Veda Chaturbidam, Yadatu Sankapa Vilkalpa Kritam, Tadapa Betama Ruchya Vikyam, Syad Buddhi Sangyantya Yada Praviti, Sunishtitam Sankshasina Rupam, Anasadana Rupam Touch, Chitam Cha Parikirtitam, Aham Prityatma Prityatu, Tadaham Karatam Gatam, Kesham Rajose Lijatani, Kramat Kamindriyani Cha, Prayekam Hilates Testu, Prano Pavati Pansada, Ridi Prano Kuni Pano, Nabhistastu Samanaka, Kantagreshe Yudanasyad, Vyana Sarvachari Rika, Gyanendriyani Pancheva, Panchachamindriyani Cha, Pranadi Panchakam Cheva, Diyacha Sakidamana, Etat Suksmat Sariram Syan, Mamas Lingam Daduchate, Tatraka Prakriti Prokta, Sarajam Vididha Sprita, Satvatmika Chamaya Isyad, Avidya Guna Bisrita, Swasvayam Yatu Sanrakshet, Samayetin Hikadyate, Tasyam Yat Pratiti Bimbam Syad, Bimba Bhutasya Chesitu, Sakishwarat Samakyata, Swasraya Gyanavan Parat, Sarvagya Sarvakartacha, Sarvani Prakaraka, Avidyayam tu Yakinchid, Pratibimbam Dikadapa, Tadeva Jiva Sangyam Sat, Sarvadavjam Sakampuda, Trayorapi Hasam Proktam, Deya Traya Vividyataya, Deya Traka Vimanaschat, Yabuna Matra Kampuda, Pragastu Karanat Mastyat, Suksmadehi Tatoichasat, Studadiki to Vikyasna, Trivida Parikirtita, Evamisho Pi Samprokta, Isha Sukra Viratpadaya, Pratmo Vyashti Rupastu, Samashkyatma Parasprita, Saki Saresha Sarvaksha Jiva, anugrahakarakam yaya karoti viditam vishwam nanabhogasya kampara machakti prerito nityam mahi rajam prakapita om. Let's return to the beginning and read our translation, and then we can discuss it, because there's a lot here. Remember, in our last chapter, Himalaya was granted the boon that the Divine Mother would take birth in his household. And as his name was Parvat, her name would be Parvati. And Parvati became the daughter of Himalayas, and Himalaya began to cry. And he said, Mother, please teach me. Teach me about yoga. Teach me about the infinite beyond conception. Teach me how to worship you with form, how to worship you without form. How did this creation begin? Teach me all of this. And now comes the reply. And Sri Devi Uvacha, the goddess, said, listen to my words with attention, O you who are free from old age and death. Merely hearing this discourse will enable you to realize my form. So if you listen with one pointed attention, you will move into a Bham Samadhi. That's my promise to you. Before, only I was, and there was nothing else other than I. This is fully in accordance with the Vedic proclamation. The form of my eternal soul, the self, is known by the names of Chit, Sambit, and Parabrahma, defined as consciousness, Chit. Sambit is the totality of knowledge. Vid means to know, and Sam means altogether. Sambit is like the logos in English. It's the totality of knowledge, all that can be known. And Parabrahma is the supreme divinity, or the supreme perceiver, the witness of all creation, the supreme consciousness. The self is unable to be perceived through the senses, because it has no form. It is without confinement to space, changeless, chitta vritti nirod. It has no modification, no change, no vritti. And without name, there is no roop. How can there be nam? The self has one inherent power, the infinite energy called by the siddhas, the attained ones, as Maya. That's the power of Maya, the power of the self. This Maya is not existent. You can't point to anything and say, that's Maya. Although you can point to everything and say, that's Maya. Nor is it non-existent. Neither can it be called both. But this undefinable Maya is always is without end. It's eternal. It's mula prakriti. It's the power of the prakriti. Pra means before. Kri means becoming. Iti means this. It's the mula prakriti. What was before becoming this? Maya. The measurement of existence. The measurement of consciousness. Ma means to measure. My Maya is natural as heat rises from fire, as the sun emits rays of light, and as cooling rays come from the moon. That means that my Maya is the inherent property of Shakti. Maya is the inherent property of Shakti. Just as all the actions of life dissolved into Shushupti, or deep dreamless sleep, all life and time itself merge into that Maya. Everything that's born comes out of the Maya and merges back into the Maya. Just as every thought comes out of the infinite consciousness which is undisturbed and then manifests itself and returns into that infinite consciousness. Just as Jagrat, Shvapna, and Shushupti all come from Turiya. In my union of Maya with Shakti, I am the seed of the soul of existence. Holding aloft this creation has the defect of hiding me, its organizer. So all you see is the creation. You don't look at me. The Maya is so strong you forget about the organizer and only see the organization. Maya, in union with Chaitanya, with consciousness, is called the efficient cause of existence, or the ultimate principle of non-duality. Maya, expressed through the 5 original elements, Shiti, Tej, Moru, Bom, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, is known as the material cause of creation. For any effect to come into being, we need 2 causes. A material cause and an efficient cause. Shakti is the material cause. Consciousness is the efficient cause, the instrument through which transformation takes place. Some call this Maya tapas, that which produces heat or purifying activity. Some call her tama, like darkness. Others say jara, inert material. Wisdom, Maya, foremost, nature, energy without birth. The expositors of the Shiva scriptures call her Bimarsha, experience. Anything that can be experienced is Bimarsha. And others from Vedanta philosophy think of her as avidya, ignorance, or that which obscures knowledge. Remember that verse in the Devi Upanishad. She is unknowable, unborn, infinite, all-pervading, one and many. And for this Maya, various expounders have expressed various names in the Nigamas and Agamas and various other scriptures. That which can be seen of this Maya is inert. And the knowledge it conveys is not indestructible, and therefore it's false. Whatever is true is durable. It lasts. It sustains itself. Whatever is transient is false because it's changing. The truth is never changing. It's always the truth. It's one and the same. So then some call this Maya false because it's always the same. It's always changing. It's the nature of the nature. Consciousness cannot be perceived. Only the inert may be perceived. Consciousness alone perceives itself and is not perceived by any greater source. So only consciousness can perceive consciousness, and that's called samadhi. When consciousness perceives Maya, it's called illusion. When consciousness perceives consciousness, it's called samadhi. The logical fallacy of an anavashta, an endless series of causes and effects, would exist if it were said that consciousness requires another source of perception. Consciousness itself is the perceiver. So how can it itself require another source of perception? The cause cannot be the same as the effect. Therefore, consciousness must be perceived by itself. The self-perceiving requires no other source of perception. It itself perceives the sun, the moon, and the mountains. The attainment of this universal body of knowledge is the infinite attainment of me. If you understand this knowledge, you understand who I am. You understand who is the Divine Mother who embodies all Maya. The waking, dreaming, and deep sleep states of perception are constantly changing. When you are awake, we see this thing and that thing and the other thing. When we dream, we watch an entire movie that's going on in our minds. When we have deep sleep, we move into sleep and we move out of sleep. They're always changing, but the sambit, the universal body of knowledge, always remains the same. It's the totality of all possibilities that we could be known, that we could know. It is the knowable, the janar lok. the world of all knowledge. No differentiation can ever be understood if you know the totality of knowledge. If you know all there is to know, what else do you want to know? That's enough. Stop right there. Don't try to go farther. If it could be felt or experienced, it would be transitory. All experience is temporary. It's all transitory. Therefore, it is understood by the witness, the one who perceives, to be older than the oldest. All true scriptures declare that the universal body of knowledge is eternal. It is the form of bliss, and thus the progenitor of supreme love. All thoughts give the feeling I am. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. If I didn't think I was, who would be here? And never the feeling I am not. How can I think that I'm not when I'm the thinker? This feeling exists intrinsically within the soul as love. That feeling that I am means that I'm in love. And thus I am quite distinct from all else, which is false, because I don't change. I was here when I was a young boy. I was here when I was a young man. I was here when I was a middle-aged man, and I'm still here today. I didn't change at all. My body changed. My environment changed. My friends changed. My goals changed. My aspirations changed. But I'm still here. I am indivisible, infinite. All is me. Aham Brahmashmi. All is me. Wisdom is not the dharma of the soul. Wisdom is the intrinsic nature of the soul. It's not something we strive for. It's something we are. Only we strive to remember that which we really are. Because if we think about this world and all the objects and relationships and attachments as being me, then I'm always changing. But if I remember I am the witness, I am pure love, I am one with all that there is to be known, then I am eternal. And I'm the same. And nothing changed, just like I changed my cloth, I changed my body. That changed. But I'm still here. The ultimate unchanging character of wisdom cannot be perceived because it didn't change. Nor does it evolve. Chit, consciousness, is the ideal of perfection. And if the consciousness does not exist, then how can it be known? How can we know anything without consciousness? We can't even postulate the non-existence of the knower, of the witness of all existence. We can't postulate his non-existence. Therefore, the soul is the form of wisdom, and always of the form of happiness. Sat Chit Ananda. It is truth, always full, unattached, and devoid of duality. My soul admits no duality. My mind lingers in duality, but my soul is one with the soul of God. It's one with the soul of all. The Atma is one with the Paramatma. Again, when united with desires and actions, all the karmas, etc., it creates its own Maya, mind. Its own Maya of me and my attachments, according to the rising of previous sanskaras, the tendencies ripening because of time and activity. Because of lack of discrimination of the tattvas, the principles of existence becoming mixed together, creation comes forth. So here we have these 36 tattvas in Tantra. And we have all these elements of existence, with the 5 elements of existence, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, all are mixing together, and they give birth to the creation. O great mountain, remember that the Divine Mother is telling this to Parvat, to Himalaya, to that great mountain. It is said that all beings take birth because of a previous deficiency of buddhi, of intelligence. Every one of us has unfinished karma here. We didn't complete it in the last time, and so we came back again to work on it, pay the debt. Because you don't get liberated until you're free from debt. I have spoken to you of the knowledge of my universal form. That was the first question Himalaya asked. It is also known as Avyakrita, unmodified. Avyakta, unmanifested. Maya Shabala, the force or power of Maya, and various other names, according to various other philosophies. Each one of the philosophies has its own nomenclature. In all the scriptures, it is said to be the cause of all causes, the principle which precedes all existence, and Satchidananda Vigraha, the repository of true existence, consciousness, and bliss. Where all the actions of all existence are united, and where Icha Shakti, the energy of desire, Jnana Shakti, the energy of wisdom or intelligence, and Kriya Shakti, Icha, Kriya, Jnana Shakti, the energy of all action, all take refuge. That is called as the mantra Ring, the primary or foremost principle, which the embodiment of the 3 energies of Aim, Ring, Clean, the embodiment of the 3 qualities of Sattva, Raja, and Tam, all the 3s of Kama, Kala, are embodied in the Mool mantra of Maya, Ring. From this foremost principle emanates Akash, the ether, having the subtle property in the form of sound. Then comes forth Vayu, air, with the subtle property in the form of touch. You can feel it. You can't see it, but you can feel it. Then comes fire with the subtle property of form. You can feel it, and you can see it, and you can hear it. Then comes water, having the subtle property of taste, because you can taste the water. And lastly comes earth, having the subtle property of smell. Sound is the only quality of ether. So ether has the capacity to conduct sound. All the vibrations move through the ether. Air possesses the 2 qualities of sound and touch. You can hear it, and you can feel it. Fire has the 3 qualities of sound, touch, and form. You can see it as well, which have been declared by the wise. And the Vedas remember the 4 qualities of water as sound, touch, form, and taste, because you can taste the water. Earth has the 5 qualities of sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. And these 5 original elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, give rise to the sutra, the string or the thread of existence, which is known as the Linga Deva, the subtle body. The universal soul contains all individual souls. The subtle body expresses this supreme consciousness, and the indivisible causal body has been in this union since the beginning of time. From thence the form of the seed of perceivable existence, which is situated within the subtle body, issues forth. So the subtle body is issuing forth from this causal body, which is in union with consciousness. And then come forth the gross elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether by means of the various combinations of the 5 original elements in the process called Panchikaran, also known as the Panchakritya. And this means that there is no pure element which is isolated or separate from the other elements. Each element is part and parcel of the other 4 elements. So all 5 elements are inextricably combined and interdependent upon each other for their existence. The process of evolving the 5 gross elements is now being discussed. Each of the 5 original elements is divided into 2 parts. If you make a box and cut it in half, we've divided each element into 2 parts. One part of each is to be set aside, and that's pure that element. The other part of which is again divided into 4 parts. So now you have 4/8, making 1/2 plus the other half. Now the 4th part of each is then united with the half of the 4 other elements different from it, and thus each gross element is formed. So you have the element of earth is comprised of 1/2 earth, 1/8 water, 1/8 fire, 1/8 air, and 1/8 ether. The element of water is comprised of 1/2 water, 1/8 earth, 1/8 fire, 1/8 air, 1/8 ether. The 5 elements are intrinsically of the nature of each other. They contain the natures of each other in diminished quantity. From this effect, the 5 gross elements, the universal body is formed, which is the gross body of the Supreme Soul. From the sattva guna, the pure qualities of the 5 elements, the ears and various organs of knowledge issue forth. So now we have the Gyanendriyas coming forth from sattva, the organs of knowledge. From the union of the Gyanendriyas, the 5 organs of knowledge, remember the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and taste. Those are the 5 organs of knowledge. Comes forth, and the skin for feel, comes forth the antakaran, the inner cause, and comprised of mind, intelligence, recollection, and ego. The antakaran is comprised of mon, buddhi, chitta, and ahamkara. The mind, the intelligence, all recollection. Now the mind gives forth all the subjective thoughts, all the adverbs and adjectives of our vocabulary, of our experience. The mind says, I like it. It's good. The intelligence says all the nouns and verbs of our vocabulary of experience. This is a book. That's buddhi. This is a good book. That's mind. And the whole statement together, this is a good book, is chitta. All the subjective and objective knowledge combined. This inner cause is divided into 4 modifications according to its various functions. When engaged in forming sankalpas, a firm determination or definition of an objective, also a positive affirmation, and vikalpas, sankalpas and vikalpas, doubts or value judgments. It is known as the mind, or subjective knowledge. When it contemplates objective knowledge free from doubt, it is called buddhi, intellect, or objective knowledge. When it arrives at a decisive conclusion free from all hesitation regarding the objective for which it searched, it is called chitta, the objects of consciousness, both subjective and objective knowledge. And when its modifications make it contemplate I, as in I am the doer, it is called ahankara, the ego, the sense of I. The rajas gunas of the 5 elements give birth to the karmendriyas. So Sattva-guna gave birth to the Gyanendriyas, the organs of knowledge. Rajaguna gave birth to the Karmendriyas, the organs of action, the Jihva, the tongue, Pani, hands, Pada, feet, Payu, anus, and Upashta, the organs of generation. The union of these give birth to the 5 pranas. Prana, Prana, Tata, Vyana, Mataha, Samanakam. The 5 pranas, the breaths, the vital airs, the winds of force of life, the life force. The prana is the inhalation. Apana, exhalation. Samana, equilibrium. Udana, rising. And Vyana, diffusing or involuntary expulsion. Prana resides in the heart. Apana in the anus. Samana resides in the navel. Udana rises in the throat. And Vyana resides pervading throughout the body. 5 are the number of Gyanendriyas, the organs of knowledge. And 5 are the number of Karmendriyas, the organs of action. 5 are the number of the vital airs like prana, etc. And these hold and support the mind. Thus, my Shukshma Sharir, the subtle body, arises, and it is called my Linga, the subtle characteristics. Linga actually means the subtle. And actually, a Shiva Linga, Lingam means a symbol. And the Linga Deha, or the Shiva Linga, means the subtle symbol for the infinite consciousness. Because linga is used in many various definitions. It is there that Prakriti, nature, resides, her dominion divided into 2 parts. One Maya is the soul of true existence. The other is mixed with knowledge and qualities. It is declared that whoever takes refuge in her, she protects them as a mother. Maya. Maya means the measurement. Maya means the mother. Maya means the illusion. Maya means the one infinite nature, the entire sambit, all that is knowable. Maya has many definitions according to our understanding and our perception. The Supreme Consciousness reflects this Maya, and thus reflects all existence. Thus, he is called Ishvara, he who perceives all. And there is no greater wisdom than this refuge. He is omniscient, the performer of all action, the cause of bestowing of all blessings. O great mountain, when the ignorance of various kinds is reflected, he is known as Jiva, the individual soul or life force, which again is the repository of all pain. So here this Ishvara is the infinite beyond conception, and he's omniscient and all-knowing and the doer of all as the supreme divinity. But when he becomes embodied in an individual form, he becomes burdened with Maya's definition as the illusion, which makes us separate. By the influence of Vidya and Avidya, both Ishwar and Jiva have 3 bodies. These 3 bodies are again characterized by their 3 names. When Jiva resides in the causal body, it is known as Pragya. And when it dwells in the subtle body, it is known as Taijas. When it resides in the gross body, it is, as its 3rd form, it is known as Vishwa. So here this Jiva becomes manifested. And in his subtle body, in his causal body, he's known as Pragya. In his subtle body, he's Taijas. And his gross body, he's Vishwa. In the same way, Ishwar is called Isha, Usutra, and Virat in his causal body, subtle body, and gross body, respectively. First, remember the individual forms. And then the cosmic soul, which is beyond all form. This is the actual Supreme Lord of all, who bestows upon individuals blessings and fulfillment of desires. He creates the variety of the universe, which again is the residence of various experience. Eternally compelled by my energy, he conceives my dominion. Oh. Do we have any questions? I'm sure there's a bunch. Please.
Swamiji, I have a question on verse 23.
Yes, please.
In verse 23, the Divine Mother speaks of all beings take birth because of the previous deficiency of buddhi.
Yes.
My question is, does this deficiency refer to the ignorance about the soul, or does it refer to specific lessons that each individual has to learn in this lifetime, and which they have not learned in their last previous lifetimes?
Both. The answer is both. The lessons that we have not learned added to the deficiency of our soul. And so by learning the lessons of how to create harmonious behavior in this lifetime, we amplify our soul. My soul doth magnify the Lord. Our soul becomes whole and complete and full and perfect, and then we become empowered to dedicate our focus and our attention in that samadhi to the one point of attention of the witnessing consciousness. Both are true. The deficiency of our intelligence applies to how did we manipulate our affairs during our life in our previous existence. How did we prosecute our affairs? Were we generous and kind and loving? Were we dharmic in all of our behaviors? Or do we have a deficiency? This will create the deficiency in our atmagyan, in the wisdom of our soul.
But we say that some Mahatmas and divine souls, they come to take on a human body by choice.
Yes.
They don't have unfinished karma, they just come out of compassion.
They come out of compassion and out of necessity. I can't agree with that. Because there is a necessity to give. Even once you've taken the knowledge, you have to give it back. They feel a compelling necessity to come and work for the benefit of others. Sri Ma does not come to the Devi Mandir for herself. She comes for all of us. And such elevated souls, they come because they have to give back. They have this compelling necessity to give back to creation. Because once you realize that I am one with all of existence, how can I be liberated while all of existence is in bondage? That realization itself says that I am a part of all of this, and I'm going to work for the ultimate upliftment of myself.
Some question from Marsha from Los Angeles.
Yes, namaste, Marcia.
Would the closest description of Maya spoken of in the beginning of chapter 4, in verse 4, be the undifferentiated state that is spoken of in physics?
Yes, very, very good. But even more than that, she embodies consciousness too, because here in this definition, Maya is one with consciousness. Shiva and Shakti are not separate. The Maya and the consciousness are one, so she includes all of consciousness in undifferentiated spirit. So yes, we're approximating in physics that undefinable, unknowable, that unquantitative existence that we can only call supreme divinity. Thank you, Marcia.
Question from Nilima from New Delhi.
Namaste, Nilima.
So, Namaste Swamiji, if the intrinsic nature of soul is wisdom, and Maya, according to samskaras and deficient buddhi, manifests only when taking birth, does not the intrinsic soul have the power to override these?
Sometimes yes and sometimes no. unfortunately, because sometimes the Maya is so strong as to thrust us into forgetfulness. And we are bound by the outside karmas. The intrinsic nature of the soul is wisdom. When we pay attention to our soul, when we pay attention to our wisdom, we act with wisdom. But Nilima, sometimes we forget and we act with attachment to the Maya and we forget all about the wisdom. It's just like Vritra, the cloud, coming up and obscuring the Surya, the sun. And even though the sun is there and he's shining the light of wisdom radiantly upon Bharat, especially the land where the light of wisdom always shines, Bharat, even though the cloud is there in front of him, we don't see the wisdom. We forget about the wisdom behind the cloud, and we only see the cloud and we say, I better take an umbrella today, it might rain. So, yes, Nilima, the wisdom, the soul is of the intrinsic nature of wisdom, but because of the rise of egotism and attachment, oftentimes, too often for many of us, we don't pay attention to the wisdom and we only get seduced by the Maya. So we forget our wisdom, which is the intrinsic nature of our souls. Not fair. Namaste, Kumari Ma.
Why is the subtle body of Ishwar called sutra or thread?
A sutra is a thread that holds together a mala. It holds together the whole garland of creation. The subtle body is what strings together all the creation, all manifested existence is strung together as individual beads on a garland. Just like in the causal body, all of the creation is one in unity with her net of unity. She has unified. In the subtle body, she has strung all the individual phenomena on the thread or the string, made a garland of it. And that's what she wears around her neck. Kumari, she wears the karma of all embodied beings, from Brahma to a blade of grass, as a mala around her neck. And that's why it's strung in with the thread.
Another question from Kumari. If the soul increases with experience, how can it be the same as the Atman, which never changes?
The soul does not increase with experience. The Atma is one with Supreme Divinity and it never changes. Only my attitudes towards the soul change. My capacity to control my selfish attachments and my selfish propensities and align myself with the soul. That changes. But the soul is of the nature of wisdom and it is eternal. So it does not change.
I have a question about who does sadhana. It is said that the true self is never bound, but that liberation means death to the ego self. And it's unlikely that the ego will work for its own goodness.
Some of us are trying. Some of us little egos are striving to purify this big ego here and align ourselves with the soul of wisdom. So yes, it is possible that somewhere along the line we will get inspired. We meet a saint like Srima. We come into contact with a satsang where we share knowledge and wisdom and inspiration, and then suddenly we start changing ourselves. And then our goals change, our paths change, our values change, our sadhana changes, and we will do tapasya in order to control the propensities of the soul.
Swamiji, in verse 12, it says consciousness cannot be perceived, only the inert may be perceived. And Swamiji said that when consciousness perceives consciousness, it's samadhi. When consciousness perceives that which is that maya, that is illusion?
Yes, because it's transitory. It's also maya in the form of the measurement of mother. So it is the measurement, the exposer of consciousness is Maya as well. So now here, we're only seeing the forms. We are not seeing the consciousness. Look in the mirror. How many of you see the reflection? And how few of us see the mirror, the reflector? The soul is the reflector. It is devoid of any reflection. How many of us have trained our awareness to perceive the pure reflection from the reflector? We're devoid of forms.
So, Swamiji, if we are able to perceive what is happening in a witness state, as everything is changing, but I'm just observing without being attached,
Yes.
is that also illusion?
No. That is the witness of Om Aing Ring Kling Chamundai Viche. Sattva Raja Tamaguna, all the goddesses are continually changing, dancing. Chamundai, in the paradigm of consciousness as perceived by the supreme consciousness, is the witness of the changes. And that is the reality. I don't identify myself as changing. I am still here. I was here. I will be here.
Is that our goal?
That is our goal, to become the witness of all the changes.
Swami, there's a question from yesterday.
Yes?
Kumari is asking that verse in chapter 3, verse 68 speaks about merits. What are these merits and do they carry over from birth to birth?
They certainly do. All the punya, these merits are called punya. And this punya carries over, it attaches to our soul. It becomes like a property to its holder. It becomes the nature of the soul to have these merits. And if you do meritorious behavior in this lifetime, 14 generations are purified. 7 generations previous to you and 7 generations to follow you. All will find the good effects of your good karma, or otherwise.
Swami, in verse 43, it talks about in this chapter, Swami, chapter 4.
Yes.
It talks about our divine mother who protects us, and we also say she's Maya, and also say Maya can be in pure form or mixed. Who is she, Swami?
This Maya is the soul of true existence. So here now we were saying that Maya is one with consciousness because she's the soul of true existence. And the other Maya, the other part of Maya, is mixed with knowledge and quality. So she's Vyakti Maya. She is divided into parts, individualized, and into duality. So one is the Maya of non-duality, and the other is the Maya of duality.
Swami, so the Maya of non-duality, is that the same as consciousness? How is it?
It is not different from consciousness. Sadashiva is infinite consciousness. Shakti Tattva is infinite energy. But we know E equals mc squared. You can't have energy without consciousness. There's no possibility to separate them in that state. So we are speaking of them as being separate and divided and different just in order to understand. It's only an intellectual concept at that point so that we have the understanding that we can relate to Ishvara Tattva, where they become one.
And the question from Nanda from San Jose.
Yes, Nanda?
In chapter 3,
Yes.
it says that there's a verse which talks about the merits attained by one's ancestors
Yes.
when the divine mother is born to Himalaya. Is this also true when a person reaches a certain level of spiritual attainment? His or her family or ancestors will attain merits too. Especially when many seekers hurt their families by leaving them and going off to do sadhana.
Except that ultimately the families rejoice and they celebrate because in their family someone is born who loves God. And when they are sorrowful and resent that someone is leaving to do sadhana, then they are only thinking about their own selfish interest. Oh, I'm deprived of the association of that family member. But when that family member attains, and attains gloriously, then the family rejoices and they are rewarded with merits that accrue from lifetime to lifetime. That in their family, someone, a punyatma, a meritorious soul took birth, and that whole family is celebrated and regarded with the highest esteem.
Okay, another question from Nanda. In chapter 3 talks about Himalaya getting darshan of Divine Mother. Is that not the ultimate goal of every seeker? Yet he asks Mother for knowledge of herself. In verse 23, can you please help us understand why knowledge of herself is greater than darshan of Divine Mother? Or please can you correct my understanding?
The objective is not just to see her, it is to live with her. Knowledge of the self will give us the capacity to be with her all the time. If just to see her as in passing, we do that many times. But to be with her and actually live with her and spend the rest of our lives with her because we understand what it is that makes us do foolish things, and we control ourselves so we don't go away from her, then that is the ultimate goal. To be one with her. To be with her and to live with her and to rejoice with her and to spend our lives in dedication to her. Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Namaste.